Hello and welcome back to Job Done, basically. I now know the gap between myself and some of the best players across 3 different racing games which have their own esports series. That puts the gap between myself and some of the best sim racers about at, on average, 5.5 seconds, which is disappointing, but at the same time not surprising. So, what now? Well, time to bring the gap down. To do it, it makes sense to not try and stretch myself thin across all 3 games. Just going to stick with the one, and naturally I'm going to go for the game where the gap's already the smallest. GT Sport is the game we are going to put our efforts in to see if we can get closer to the best. To do that, I'll be tracking my driver rating, so obviously if that improves, if I can get faster slaps and of course wins, and constantly updating the average to see if I can bring the gap down from 4 seconds. So, let's get into it. My name's Ash, this is the Outside Line.
And today we are racing Group 4 cars at Sardegna, so it's 2 firsts on the channel. First time I've been in Group 4 cars, and first time on a fictional track of any kind. All of them have been real world so far, first fictional one. And I want to say about Gran Turismo's fictional tracks specifically, I'm a real big fan of them. I think there's a couple that maybe I'm not as keen on, but for the most part they're just great tracks. Like, it's the way they're laid out, the combination of corners, they're like a good mix of challenging and fun to drive, especially with all the elevation changes they put in as well. Like this middle sector, that bank turn into this sweeping downhill sector is really fun to drive. However, this right-hander I'm less a fan of, I must admit. It is a source of fear, misery and abject terror, and we will revisit why later in the video. But yeah, big fan of the Gran Turismo tracks, the corner combinations and the elevation changes, really nice. We're in the Aston Martin. Again, I claim to be an Aston Martin fan, yet to drive one in Gran Turismo competitively, so here we go, V8 Vantage. Since my biggest weaknesses so far have been controlling oversteer and good throttle control, because there's slightly less power in these Group 4 cars, might do well here, although I could just work on controlling my foot, would be easier. Anyway, 128.5 for starters. As you can see here though, not lit up every sector green, so there's still room to improve, and we will go back and do just that. However, let's go racing. So, on pole, Renault Megane Trophy. That is a familiar sight, get used to that. Quite a popular car, the Megane Trophy. Don't know if that's generally in Group 4 or just round this track, but there are a few of them. Anyway, we are in second. Off we go, change up straight away in this car as soon as you go green, and immediately you see that straight line speed is on our side, tuck in to the slipstream of the leader, up the inside, and we go straight for the lead. Okay. Yeah, watching that back, I must admit, don't know why I almost came to a stop there. That was awful. That should have been the lead of the race, there and then. Oh well, I mean, I guess more to be said for taking it cautious at the beginning while the tyres are cold. We are still in the race anyway. So, into this middle sector now. We've got the straight line speed, but the Megane is better through corners, really good downforce. So, technically he should be pulling away from us, but he's looking a little bit unstable. And we're getting on the back of him now. This doesn't look so bad. Early doors, we might get another chance, and we do. Pull out into this right-hander. On the brakes, outbrake up the inside. He does the cut back, but we just run a little bit too fast into the gravel. And now there's danger from the Huracan. The Huracan's going to try to get around the outside of us here. Hold the inside. He kind of turns in a bit early and bumps us. All fair though, and we stay side by side to the next corner. Holding the inside line. We take the place back, however, they cut back on us again. And this is my bad, I think they're going to tuck in, but they outbrake us, kind of turning on them. Hands up, that was poor awareness from me. Fortunately, no real issues there, he takes the place I took in. However, of course, we are down to third, we want to get that back, and German driver behind us has now got the run, because we've lost speed from that little collision. Will he look up the inside? Looks like he does. But thankfully I've found some cojones on the brakes and we brake a little bit later, take that corner well, and we are back behind the top two. So, still plenty of time to go. Still in the race. Let's go for this. Outbreak the Huracan coming into the corner. Let's go around the outside. Swedish driver having real problems in the Megane now, and he ghosts out, and we are suddenly 3 wide into the next white-hander. White-hander, that's what I said. Swedish driver doesn't notice us on the inside, smacks into us. Again, he is all over the place, and it's not going to be long until something bad happens to him. Oh, there it is. See you later, son. So, up to second. Time to get after the Huracan. However, we get a bump from behind, and we hurrican't, and we are off the track. And as you can see, absolute mayhem around this corner. Loads of people going off into the gravel trap. There's people serving penalties around here. Look onto the far left, and you can see the Swedish driver that was in the lead coming back with a vengeance to punt off myself and another guy who unfortunately stopped being a ghost at the wrong time. And just like that, we are down to 12th. 12th. My English is terrible. Anyway, this is what happened. We're going to watch on board from the guy who eventually hits us. So we go 3 wide. Swedish guy hasn't noticed us, gives us a little slap. And as you can see, he's all over the place. Could have looked to get up the inside of him here, but I ended up kind of tucking him behind him for some reason. I think I was going to line up an overtake. However, he just takes himself out. And then there's nothing here to be said, but he just brakes late and full-on yeetage. I've actually named that gravel trap Punty Sands, because it sounds like a shit-holdy destination you don't want to go to. I definitely didn't want to be there. And he didn't want to be there either. So we get 11th quite easily from a car running wide. And considering we were running well earlier, and we were the second fastest car to begin with, we want to pick up some places back. We think, okay, this 7th may be on the table here. Spaniard going slowly, we go round the outside of him. He brakes very conservatively, a bit like me, going into turn 1. And we are back behind another Renault Megane trophy. This time one called Dark Killer 2008, so we're going to give this guy a bit of a wide berth. Do we look to try and get up the inside of this infamous right-hander? We've had 2 incidents here in 2 laps. This time we get through it okay. Sigh of relief. But again, we can see we're closing right up to him, already thinking about it. Get a little pump from behind, just a reminder that the Spaniard is still there. Thanks, mate, good to see you. But we're okay, we survive. A little bit overzealous coming out of that corner, and same again here, just outbrake myself trying to push and get on the back of the Finnish driver. And probably get away from the Spanish guy behind me, considering he's shown his colours now. But we have the straight line speed on the Renault, as I've said before. We're still quite a long way back though, but we took in the slipstream, and all of a sudden out of nowhere we've got a chance to get the move right that we botched on lap 1, and there we make it stick. Still, I think I could have taken it a little bit quicker, but at least job done. And we get up to 9th. However, because of those issues at the end of the last lap, 8th is a bit far away from us. All in all, despite where we finished compared to where we started, I'm quite proud of the result, because we were running second until we got punted out. We went back to 12th and then gained 3 places. So everything we did was a positive. I say we. We're all in this together. Anyway, another race. 2 Megane trophies at the top this time. Didn't improve my qualifying time, and this time it has us in 5th on the grid. Decided to switch to the F-Type, a bit more nimble around the corners. Now, I didn't realise that I had traction control still on. I do realise at some point to turn it off, but for this race I have it on, set to the default of 3, which is good for controlling wheel spin, but that means you compromise the power, so not quite as quick as I would be. But this time I'm determined to kind of be a bit more adventurous with my braking earlier. Be careful, because of the cold tyres, but get places early. Nope, I've outbraked myself. Okay, yeah. Great. Great, you're great. So glad I decided to put this on the internet. Okay, head up, here we go. Ben Mrazo there. He's got no problem with being overzealous. Gives us a knock, as does the German driver behind us. We are in amongst it now. So we've got to fight to survive, and we are coming up to Punty Sands. Hello, is that the Yeet Police? Yeah, hi guys. Where were you when I needed you? Because I'm back. Twice in 2 corners, or a few corners that German has hit us. Thank you, telephone man. Thank you for nothing. So I kind of clip the nose of the car behind, and we're in 11th now. This guy's got a 5-second penalty, so we don't have to really panic to get past him, but he actually makes it quite easy for us. Strange line through there. And then we now try to get after telephone man. You nasty, nasty bastard, you. Okay, here's what happens. So first, on board with Ben Imrazzo, he just misjudges the corner, brakes too late, uses a little springboard to get himself round. Happens often. Happened again there. And this was the same as the first incident here. Guy just brakes too late, and we are back. We're back at Punty Sands, where the beer is warm and the swimming pool's cold. Fuck you very much. We'll be back. So, on the back of Telephone Man, Beelzebub has just returned from hell, it seems, and we get an easy place from him. He's still nearby though, keep an eye on the radar. Nearly gets slid into by Beelzebub. Unfortunately, he ghosts out before wiping us out. He's having a fun time by the looks of it. Hopefully, by the time he serves his 3-second penalty, he won't be a concern of ours. Up to 8th. Here we go again. Brace for impact. Brace for impact. There's a car. Oh my god. Okay, Beelzebub living up to his name. But we now come up to Ben Imrazzo, who's just come back from going off, and we're up the inside of him. Considering how he attacked us before, I am more than happy to get a little bit elbows out against him. Hold the inside line for the next one, and then look just behind me. Lovely bit of karma there. Bye, boys. Ben Imrazzo and Beelzebub, off you And thankfully that gives us a chance to get away from this rabble of absolute weapons. Fast forward, and that was unfortunately the race. So, again, back to 11th, up to 7th, decent recovery. However, has to be mentioned that this time around, even though I was punted off later on, the initial issue was me. It could have been a completely different race if I hadn't outbraked myself and gone off early. Room for improvement. So, qualifying ahead of the next race, I have now turned off traction control, and we improved the time by about 0.8 of a second into the 1:27s. And as a result, that puts us on pole, and also, conspicuously, in a race where there isn't a Megane trophy in the top 5. So, pole position should be a good thing, right? The one race I've won so far has been from pole position, likes the flag victory as well. However, I have been on pole and near the top, and in winning positions. Group 3 at Interlagos still fresh in the mind, where I was 3 seconds up and threw it away. This guarantees nothing, so we negotiate the first corner fine. We're already a second up. Let's just take it easy. No reason to panic. Draw yourself a deep bath. No, sorry. Partridge. Anyway, coming to the end of lap 2, the gap is just over 3 seconds. Yes, this is the time where I binned it before. And we come across the line to set a fastest lap that's actually a 10th faster than my qualifying time. Shows that there's still time for me to gain in qualifying. And I'm happy to report there were no issues here. Clearly, I'm an all-or-nothing kind of guy. If I'm going to win, I'm going to win from pole, I'm going to win with the fastest lap, I'm going to have a clean race, and I'm going to be lights to flag. Domination or nothing, that's my motto. That's probably my motto if I had a motto. Lovely to be able to use that graphic again, by the way. I was wondering when that was going to get shown. We're up to 2 race wins for the channel. Both lights to flag. There are no Meganes back. The top 3 there, and there's one in 5th as well. So, not improved my time here. Only good enough for 6th in this room compared to 1st in the last one. I think it might be because I did win the last race, so maybe I'm giving more challenging D-rated drivers. There's also some C ranking drivers in here as well. But here we go. So, as great as it is to win, I also want to be a driver that can win from lower than 1st. No one likes to be that guy. I've also never won back-to-back races before, so let's just go. Let's go and try and see what we do. Lots of action on the first few corners. Bail out of a move. He gets taken out, and we're up to 5th. The guy up ahead is going to have to serve a penalty, so we can at least get closer to him. And behind us, we've got a couple of cars, but no one right on us. Decent start, much better. Warm up the tyres and get into it, get into a good pace. Useful when, at the minute, my race pace is similar to my qualifying time. So, here we go, Punty Sands. Looking at the radar. Okay. We're through safe. And we are now onto the back of the Spaniard, DSR, Guru Start. As he says the penalty. The 3 Megane trophies are already off, up ahead. Guru Start in the Audi. We're in the Jag, let's get after them. Decent first lap without incident. I'm happy to take it. So into the final left-right. He gets a little bit wide. We get a better run, and we're alongside. Got the speed. Not sure how these two cars compare in terms of outright pace, but we are pulling past slowly. We're on the outside, so it's the decision: do we try to outbrake? I'm a big fan personally of the cutback, trying to get in behind, and that's exactly what we go for. Tuck inside. He runs a little bit hot into it, has to take slight evasive action to make sure he doesn't go on the gravel, but we get the move done up to 4th. Lovely stuff. And seems to be that one of the Renault Meganes up ahead has fallen away. The top 2 are kind of fighting it out. Maybe we can pick off 3rd. Good start to this race so far. Avoided all problems. Purple sector as well, which means the pace is coming. Let's do this. Maybe too far off. We're already 5 seconds away from the lead. But positive. Gaining on the start position. If we can finish higher than we qualified, that's a good race for me. Up to Punty Sands we come. No real issues on the radar. We're looking good. Oh, you what, mate? What? What is that? What the f*** is that? What the f*** is you? What the f*** is I? Why? Okay. I have some issues. And we're going to explore them now. He comes from a long way back. He's not on the radar till the very last second. From this angle, it looks like it kind of deadens the impact a little bit. So you can't really see how much he's hit me. From here you can see it. Here you can see that without hitting into me and me slowing him down a bit and changing his direction, he's not getting around that corner. Why I've ended up with the penalty is just incredible. I think I know why. It's because I'm the one turning more. The game thinks, oh, he's turning more, clearly he's rammed into him, so I should dish out the penalty, despite the fact that I'm the one that's ended off the track. I can't really complain. This happens to so many people. One's more outrageous than that, but that was just stupid. Anyway, we come round to serve the penalty. We drop to 12th. Can't say that word, can I? Now, we nearly get punted by someone behind us, but thankfully we ghost out. Coming into the final turns, the car ahead picks up a 0.5 second penalty just for cutting the corner there. So we've got a chance to at least pick up a place. I'm trying to stay positive even when the race goes absolutely tits up. Try and get after people, pick up places. That's what it's all about. I mean, the closing speed as well. I mean, he brakes a little bit too much there for that first corner, I must say, but we close quite a lot on him in the Renault. All over the back of him. If we can be this distance away by the time he serves the penalty, that's an easy place. Still irritated that I'm having to fight for this, but whatever. However, by the time we come up to it, he's taken that middle section well. Yellow flag is, there's been some nonsense up ahead of that corner, what a surprise. And the gap away means that, yes, we do close, but he solidifies and we have to brake for the corner. So unfortunately, 12th is where we finish. Is it me? Like, is it me? Anyway, temptation gets the better of me, and I go and improve my time by about 0.3 of a second in, you guessed it, the McGann Trophy. I thought, you know what, let's see what we do in this. Technically, with my issues of throttle control and having a shaky back end, matron, I should like this car. It's got lots of downforce, so me kind of getting a bit overzealous shouldn't happen as much. Now, I changed up straight away there, because that's what you had to do in the Jag and the Aston to get a good start. Here, not so much, and that means I've got a really slow getaway, and I'm being followed by 2 Hurricanes, which have better straight line speed anyway, so we get almost engulfed at turn 1. Fortunately, guy on the outside completely misjudges it into the gravel. However, we have lost place to one of the Hurricanes. Zheje 33 is the 3 supposed to be an E? Zhejet. Whatever. That French guy's taking the lead. Dars UK in the snazzy Top Gear livery tries to get up the inside, but we managed to hold off okay. If previous form is anything to go by, this means I won't win the race, because I've never won a race where I've been second or lower at any point. The only races I've won have been pole, first, stay first, win. Like I said, I don't want to be that guy. I hate people who are that guy. Currently I am that guy, so let's try and stop. We are still behind him. We've not been, dragged into any nonsense, and I'm not dragging myself into any nonsense. Let's do it. So, as you can see, through the corners we are gaining on the Hurricane, but obviously he will have the straight line speed. Into the final corner. He runs a little wide, we very much get a better run. If I had a car with better straight line speed, I would be past him. However, as you can see, the Hurricane is holding out, so he took back into the slipstream. Not sure whether we'll be in a position to make the move going into turn 1. He's very much holding the inside line. I go for the outside. Do we try the cutback again? But he's already ahead of us. Head round the corner, and yep, he ain't there. He has outbraked himself and gone off into the gravel. Makes it very easy for us, and even better, Docs UK has picked up a penalty of some kind as well, meaning we are now in very firm control of this race. So, chance to take a win here. Not ping lights to flag. Gap here up to 3 seconds. Doing okay. Bunty Sands, we are not visiting you. I've got better places to be. And we are getting the pace in as well. Now this is my take on the whole thing. As much as, with the exception of me outbraking myself, all the incidents have been people driving into me, and there's generally not much you can do about that. I think a lot of this comes to my racecraft and me kind of learning how to survive in these lobbies when you're in the thick of it and making the smart decisions. Clearly, I am the sort of person that likes to take a slower entry speed for a better exit speed. That's not the case with everyone, which is why I think some people close in on me and maybe hit me. So maybe that's on me to kind of vary how I take corners for certain situations rather than just that one style. I think most of the issues are other people's fault. This is just my take on them. I would love your opinion otherwise, if you feel that's the case, as long as you're nice about it. I'm here for some good discourse, as we cross the line for another win. But yeah, basically what I need to do is learn how to play well with others. Did a little bit of it there, managed to fight with some people and actually come away with a win, open out the gap. I get to use that graphic twice in one episode. Scenes boys. Pole position, fastest lap, clean race. I'll take it. However, how does my overall performance affect the average pace gap? So, my best time, set in the McGann Trophy, after I spent all that time pointing out how much other people were driving it, was just over 3 seconds off the eventual best time. Got all this from Kudos Prime, where you can basically see all the records after the daily races have shut. So this is the final leaderboard, 3 seconds away. That brings the average pace cap down by about 0.2 of a second. So, yeah, we're still a long way away, but when it's going in the right direction, it doesn't seem that bad. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment, and hopefully I will see you next time. Cheers.